Want to speed up inner transformation? Then what exactly is to be done? Hello, I'm Ranjan Kumar, founder Mystic Fusion International and Authentic Self-Leadership Coach. Well, in the last few videos that I have been making on authentic self-leadership, here's what is the most important point that I have been sharing through my videos, and that important insight or that important philosophy that I am trying to execute in my own life and also have been trying to enlighten people and educate people on is that there is something most important happening within, and unless we are aware of this fact, everything else that you do outside would only be a delusion. And unless you intentionally want to be caught up in the delusion, probably you would want to know more about it. And here's in this video that I am going to share with you. Well, the most important remnant of industrial age has been speed and productivity. And 99% of our generation today is caught so much up in the mad rush, intoxicated by speed and productivity, that even in the field of transformation, when it comes to reflection on who you are and what's happening inside also, there are chances that you might get caught up in the idea that there is something you can do to increase the speed of your transformation and to experience life differently. Now, my question to you is, why exactly when it comes to personal transformation, again we have the same metrics of size, speed and the quantity. Now, if you reflect for a while, you would understand that these are the metrics that you have been using. These are the parameters that you have been using to measure result on the outside, on the external factors. And when you try to use the same metrics for your internal transformation, then aren't we doing something wrong at the very beginning of our personal transformation? Aren't we trying to lose focus of the very fact that our whole foundation would go wrong if you try to have the criteria wrong for looking and measuring the results. And when you use the same metrics, same parameters of speed, numbers and quantity and size for your inner transformation, probably you are looking at inner transformation as if it's a material thing. And for a very long time, we all have been caught up in this delusion, or in our own illusion that we created, that everything that has to happen has to be measurable. And yes, when it comes to learning and development departments, when it comes to training departments, when it comes to productivity, when it comes to work results, everything is being measured and has to be measurable. But if you are in an illusion that even personal transformation has to be measurable, then yes, some of the outcomes can be measurable, but doesn't mean that everything possible inside, everything that is going to change about you, everything that's going to change about how you look at life and how you look at your own self has to be measurable. Then probably we are missing the point, and we are missing a crucial point which could make or mar your entire effort. And today I'm going to speak about that. Now, when I speak about inner transformation, or let's say when I speak about transformation, at least the word transformation, I'm sure now 90% of the population understands what it is at some level, but are caught up in their materialistic perspective of transformation. And that's probably why every day you decide to do something different about yourself. Every day you want to do something different about your job, you want to do something different about your relationships, you want to do something about your financial situation, you want to do something different about your society, you want to do something different about your nature. You want to do something different, that's for sure, unless you are so self-absorbed that you don't know anything that's happening around. Now, the same thing when it comes to transformation, there is one crucial thing that you will have to wake up to, is that there is a difference between materialistic change and inner transformation. And here's what you must remember before even you begin your attempt at inner transformation. change on the outside has different metrics to change on the inside. And change on the outside is like, you are playing around with the ripples on the water instead of looking at what's happening or what's happening beneath, or what's the cause of these ripples. And when it comes to inner transformation, the only metric that you must be aware of is the depth of the impact. When it comes to change on the outside, you are very much right when you say that the size of influence, the numbers, the quantity, and the productivity and the results on the outside, the size of the influence it is causing, that all is good for until you look at it from a materialistic point of view. But when you look at inner transformation, the first thing that you must understand is it's not about size, it's not about numbers, it's not about speed at all. It's only and only about the depth of the impact. And who fundamentally are you trying to change? Be it your own self, or be it the world outside, or the life at a larger as a larger element that you want to change. One thing is for sure, you actually want to create an impact, and you want to do two things here. You want to change your own self as well as life outside. But unless you understand that you are not a separate element, separated by some invisible thing from this life outside, then you are caught up in the Maya. And this is exactly what is Maya. One moment you are aware of what's happening, and the other moment you're caught up in the delusion. And this exactly is what is called Maya, or the illusion. So what's the way out? The only way out is not you doing something, or not you acting massive action on some idea, but understanding that there is something beneath the massive action which is actually igniting this action. And this ignition is your awareness. And the only thing that you ought to do, or would be enough to do, would be you being aware of what's happening within. Now, when I say you being aware of what's happening within, again, I would not want to give you a fresh framework which would again limit your experience. I would only want you to look at it from this perspective, that what you experience might be different from what I experience, and which also might be different from somebody else's experience. And hence, please do not put your experience in a framework, or please do not make an active expectation of what kind of an experience that I can expect, or what kind of an experience that I must go through, which needs validation from outside. Instead, I would want you to just be a keen observer of what's happening inside. And there might be a time when you wake up to the fact that it is the observer who's being observed. And not giving scientific words for that, but I would want to make you I would want you to understand that several interesting things might happen in the process, but they are your original enlightenment. And unless you get enlightened in your own way, you would be copying somebody else, or you would be imitating somebody else, or probably you would be taking cue from somebody's experience, which also might not be your authentic experience. So hence, if you want to experience life in a fresh, in an authentic and original way, then probably the only thing you must do, or you can do possibly is being and becoming more and more aware of what's happening inside every new moment. You're talking to somebody, observe yourself. You indulged in something, observe yourself. You are feeling like changing something on the outside, observe where is this feeling coming from. And this exactly is probably the only thing that can help you escape that sense of hollowness which you experience at the end of the day, or after having done so many things on the outside. You wanted to make your family happy, you wanted to make your friends happy, you wanted to make your colleagues happy, you wanted to make your online friends happy, where you made an active contribution to the society. After all this, if you still have some sense of hollowness inside, and you feel that you're not satisfied with all this, and there is some lacuna somewhere, and this is exactly the lacuna. My question to you is, how many moments do you spend observing? Just observing, just listening to that inside, that inner voice, and without any judgment. This probably would be the most interesting thing that you could do in your path of inner transformation. And if you still suspect my proposal, if you still do not believe and consider it to be unrealistic, to just becoming aware and just being aware of what's happening and causing a deep impact and causing a massive impact in the process of inner transformation, then I would want you to explore, I would want you to take this path, and I would want you to tell me how impactful has this been with you in your case. And it's not about the guarantee that I give you, it's about your exploration, it's about your participation, and it's about how you realize what's different about you and what's different about your life after you start listening to your own self, and after you start becoming a keen observer of the source of that transformation that is causing the desire to change something on the outside. And this probably would be an interesting journey inside to your own authentic self leader within. And I invite you onto this journey, and I would want you to explore this for a few months and let me know what has been your experience with it. So this could be a proposal to you, and I would want you to take it as a daily activity, probably half an hour of listening to your own self and observing your own self, and let me know what has been your journey after 3 months of keen observation of what's happening inside and the status quo. Love you.